Greeting residents of the Janesville Waldorf Pemberton Public School District. This is District Superintendent Bill Adams. This PowerPoint presentation highlights our cafeteria project, a project in which the school board has been working on for over a year. The agenda that we have covered in this presentation is preparation work, history of cafeteria, building security overview, scope and sequence of the project, financing, closing, and in this format we will not be able to take time to answer questions, concerns, or address compliments because it's something that you're viewing and it's not interactive. So let's start with preparation work. Over the past month I've met with several folks throughout our district, farmers, business owners, citizens, different folks that have a different interest in the district, and those meetings went very well. I received great feedback from folks. They asked wonderful questions. We basically exchanged outstanding dialogue. That work has got us to this point where we can present it to the entire school community. So the history of the cafeteria was built in the 1960s, and most of the equipment down there is original to the first construction of the cafeteria area. The county has cited us on many occasions since 2008 for deficiencies in our cafeteria that may not be up to state code. And what they have said is now that we've passed our operating levy, they believe that we should move forward with addressing the larger issues. And that's a bit unfortunate because operating levy is to take care of operational costs, to add back some staff, so forth and so on. It's not for capital projects. But with that said, it doesn't really matter because we are at a point where we need to do something about our cafeteria. There's also drainage issues down there. We have tile that runs along the floor of the cafeteria, and with any measurable amount of rain, that tends to back up and come up through the cafeteria floor, creating obvious issues so that we are unable to serve students in the cafeteria. We have a seating capacity issue. Right now it seats about 150 kids, maybe just a bit over, and that causes lunch schedule issues because we have to start serving our kids at 10:45, 10:50 in the morning, their lunch, which is a bit early for our students to be eating lunch, considering that we don't get out of school until 3:10, and supper, again, isn't until 5 or in some cases 7 for some families. So it's a long period of time where folks, or our students, have to sit or wait until they have their next meal. We have some pictures to follow. This is a hole in the wall that was created because we had a leaking pipe, and the only access to it was creating a hole, as you see here. And this is just one picture of some of the things that we have going on in our cafeteria. Here again, this is another picture of our cafeteria. It's the floor tiles that are coming off the floor, and you can see that they're many of them are starting to get loose, and you can see the concrete floor below. This is a ceiling tile that's falling apart in the kitchen, and you can see the exposed underneath surface of the ceiling tile. This is a picture of one of our coolers or freezer, and you can see we have things stacked on the floor. That is against code. Things need to be stacked on shelves, but we don't have room in there to add shelving, and we have limited space to add on to our coolers or freezers. This again is a ceiling tile. You can see some have come off. This is our wall, our plaster wall, which is falling apart. This is seen throughout the cafeteria, and essentially the only thing to do is tear it off and start new. Picture 7 is that of our dry storage area. You can see here that we have limited space as well, and we don't have anywhere to add on to create more space. This is our building security overview. This is just a brief video showing the point of entrance to our building. This is door A. We'll go back and play it. This is me entering the building from the south. As you can see, I can enter both doors freely without having to address any adults or go through any security checkpoint. And as I enter the building, directly to the left is the media center, which you'll see shortly, and to the right is the commons area. Both of those areas have students in them throughout the day, and you can see it's easy access to those students without any real security checkpoint. And we can go down the hall, and again we'll get another glimpse of the commons area. But straight ahead there, as you just saw, is a hallway that runs from our elementary wing to our high school wing, where students pass through frequently during the day to access different specialists. And it basically leaves it open to anyone that wants to enter our building can enter freely and do whatever they need to do without any check-in point with an adult, or maybe any confined area where we can keep people that may be a threat to our students in a confined area to delay any threat that they may want to impose on our students and staff. So that's that. Obvious faults, you saw them. We can look just back to Sandy Hook Elementary this past year, where several students were essentially gunned down by a gunman, and that's a terrible tragedy that we don't ever want repeated in our school district. We have made some adjustments. We hired a visitor check-in receptionist who sits by the media center to check in folks. Again, it's a start. However, it doesn't put them in a confined area where we can limit access to our students. So we need to make some more adjustments to make it more secure. The scope and sequence of the project, we did have a facilities audit completed by INS engineers out of Mankato, who came in and looked at every nook and cranny in our district, including buildings and grounds. And they were able to prioritize based on different things such as citations from the county or state, safety issues and security, as well as accessibility issues and usage. And from that, they developed priorities. A 1 is, let's get this done now. And a 2 is, 2 to 5 years. 2 or 3 years. And then it's 3 to 5 years for priority 2, 5 to 8 years for 3, and 4 is whenever you get to it. Then we have some blueprints to look at. This is a mini blueprint. We're going to be jumping screens here a bit, so bear with me. But this is a blueprint of what it looks like. What we plan on doing is adding to the south of our building. Right now we enter right here to the building. What we do is we'd add on this section, and we would put the kitchen out to the south of the building. We'd expand the commons area and add central offices over here. We would increase capacity in our cafeteria up to just about 220 kids, which would definitely take care of our lunch scheduling issue. And then we would create a safe point of entry for visitors where they would have to be buzzed in, enter the office, and then re-enter the building, which obviously secures our building much more than it currently exists. This also creates a nice flow for activities such as athletics and fine arts, where people can come out and they can congregate, go to the concession stands, use the restroom, which is located right here, the new ones. And this area becomes additional classroom space as well. So you can see we take care of the cafeteria and we take care of our safety issues through this building project. Financing, the total cost of this project is $3.4 million for all priority ones. Priority ones include 2 parking lots, one to be surfaced with asphalt, and the other one to just be drained properly. And so again, total cost is $3.4 million. Capital borrowing will be $1.1 million. What that means is if we get $150,000 annually from the Minnesota Department of Ed, we would allocate $75,000 of that to pay down the debt each year throughout the 15 years of the borrowing. The lease levy would be on the taxpayers. Taxpayers would provide the district with $2.3 million in additional revenue. And what happens there is we do a review and comment with the Minnesota Department of Ed, and if they approve the project, we can move forward with it. So the tax impact here is, again, jumping screens. This is our residential tax impact. So the average home in our district is $100,000, and that would cost the taxpayer $22 more per year. For $200,000, it's $55 per year. And you can see we have some commercial and industrial. We'll go on to ag land here. So on to ag, we'll just scroll down to ag. We figured that it's the average cost per acre of land in Waseca County is $6,600. The further south you go, the higher that amount becomes. But as you can see, the tax impact on 640 acres is $1,065, and on 640 non-homestead, it's $1,276. So the way that works is folks can homestead up to $1.5 million. And anything above that has to be a non-homesteaded tax. So you can make the calculations and adjustments to get your tax impact with that synopsis. All right. So that basically concludes the program. I want to thank you for viewing it. By viewing it, it tells me that you have a vested interest in what we are doing for the students of our entire school district and I appreciate your willingness to take the time to view the video. I would take much more time, but unfortunately we have 15 minutes is about how much time I can use to be able to post this to YouTube and share with our residents. But should you have any questions, obviously, you can contact me and we'll address that here shortly. I have a picture here that I want to address. This child right here has to decide what he wants to be for Halloween. A rather easy decision, and our school board wishes that this project was easy as that. However, we are confident we have thought about this extensively. We've spent a year talking about it, researching, talking to different engineers, talking to different folks in finance, talking to our citizens, and we feel we're at a point now where we can make a decision, as hard as it will be, but we're at a point where that decision needs to be made to secure our building and to make sure our students have a safe and clean environment to eat in as well. So with that said, questions, concerns, and compliments, as I said earlier in the program, if you do have any questions or concerns or compliments that you'd like to share with me, please feel free to give me a call by contacting the district office, or you can email me, which my email again is found on the district website. I thank you again for tuning in and look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.